Problems in context. Let's look at 3 problems that use Pythagorean theorem to solve them. A ladder is 5 meters long. The bottom of the ladder is 2 meters from the foot of a wall, and the top leans against it. How high above the ground is the top of the ladder? So let's draw a sketch for this situation here. We have the ground represented here, and then we'll need the wall, which will be perpendicular to the ground. So that will be 90 degrees there. And now we need to draw the ladder. So it says that it's 2 meters from the wall, so let's make that be this far away. So this distance here is 2 meters. And the ladder itself is 5 meters long, so we can sketch that in here. And maybe these circles will be the rungs of the ladder. Maybe someone's going to climb these to change a light bulb. So this distance, or this length here, is 5 meters. And we're looking for how high above the ground is the top of the ladder. So that means we want to know this value here, which we'll label B. So this is a right angle triangle. We know A and we know C, the hypotenuse. So Pythagorean theorem tells us that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And we need to find B. So we can rearrange that formula. B squared equals C squared minus A squared. So we need to plug in our values here. C is the hypotenuse, it's 5. And A is this value here, it's 2. So B squared equals 5 squared, which is 25, minus 2 squared, which is 4. So B squared equals 25 minus 4, which is 21. To get B, we take the square root of B squared, so we square root each side. And then we use our calculator, and we'll get B equals 4.58. We can round that off to 4.6. Our units here are meters. So the ladder is 4.6 meters above the ground. Question number 2. A ship sails 300 kilometers due west and then 100 kilometers due south. How far does the ship travel? All right, so let's say we're starting right here. Okay, so if we draw our little rose compass, this is north, this is east, down is south, and left is going to be west. So we travel 300 kilometers directly this way. So we can draw that in, and that'll take us to here. So this is 300 kilometers. We then go 100 kilometers due south. So that is maybe something like that. 100 kilometers directly down. So we started here, and then we ended up here. We went like this. So how far does the ship travel? Well, the ship started here and ended here, so we ended up going like this. This is how far, this distance here in the big fat blue line is how far we traveled. So we can label that C because it is the hypotenuse of this right-angled triangle. Now, Pythagorean theorem tells us that C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So we will plug in our values to get the solution to this. C squared equals, okay, so we'll call this one A, so that's 100 squared. And B will be this one, so that's 300 squared. So 100 squared is 10,000. And 300 squared is 90,000. If we add those together, we get C squared equals 100,000. So we want C, so we'll square root C squared. We'll square root this side. So the square root of 100,000, plug that into the calculator, and get 316.227766. We'll just round it off there with 3 significant digits, and our units here are kilometers. So the ship traveled 316 kilometers. Third and final problem, calculate the area of the triangle shown. So here it is. We know that this is 6 centimeters, this is 10 centimeters, and we want to find out the area. So first of all, the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So in this case, we have the base, it's right here. The base equals 6 centimeters. And the height is this value right here, and that is unknown. So if we want to find out the area of the triangle, we'll need to figure out first what the height is so that we can plug it into the formula for the area. So to find the height, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem for this triangle right here. So let's relabel the h in this case with a variable that we normally use. The base can be b, so this will be b. Let's call this one a. So we're looking for a. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so in this case, we already wrote here b is 6. We'll do it off to the side over here. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we want to find a, so we can rearrange that, c squared minus b squared. So we'll plug in these values. A squared equals 10 squared minus 6 squared. That's 100 minus 36. That's 64. So a squared equals 64. Square root each side. And then we'll get a equals the square root of 64, which is 8. So we did that off to the side to get a equals 8. And we just relabeled this. A is h. A is the height of the triangle right here. So now we can put that in as our answer. H equals 8 centimeters. And now we can put those into our area equation. So the area for this triangle is 1/2 times the base, which is 6 centimeters, times the height, which is 8 centimeters, which we just found using Pythagorean theorem. And if we work that out, 1/2 times 6 times 8, that's 24 square centimeters. So the area of this triangle is 24 square centimeters.